Hi, my name is Katie Conley. I am a cognitive behavioural therapist collaborating with therapy in Barcelona. I'd like to introduce you to a CBT skill today called cognitive restructuring or thought restructuring. Cognitive is just a fancy word for thinking or thoughts and behaviours or what we do. CBT theorises that we can change how we think and we can change how we behave. Thousands and millions of years ago, when our ancestors were evolving, it was those individuals who were most attuned to danger and threat that survived. Then they passed their genes on, and it was their offspring that were most attuned to danger and threat that survived. That leaves us today with this really tricky brain that's not designed with our happiness or well being in mind. And we call this the negativity bias. Because we have this negativity bias, it means that our brains attach to negative experiences much easier than to positive ones. We get about 60,000 thoughts a day on average. Some of these thoughts will be positive, some of these thoughts will be neutral, and some of these thoughts will be negative. Because we have this really sticky brain for negative experiences, it's the negative ones that tend to give us the bother. In CBT, we learn how to notice these negative thinking patterns, and that gives us the opportunity to create more balanced, rational ways of thinking. Thought restructuring or cognitive restructuring involves taking a step back and viewing your thoughts as though you were having a bird's eye view or as though you're a watcher of your thoughts, creating that distance between you and your thoughts. That's pretty much the first step. The next step is using different mechanisms to challenge our thinking and to see if we can create a more alternative perspective. One of the ways we can do this is through using evidence. We can ask ourselves, what evidence do I have for this negative thought? What evidence do I have that goes against this negative thought? Am I thinking in an overly irrational way? Another way we can challenge our thinking is through use of considering alternative perspectives. The kind of questions we could ask in this instance would be, if a friend was having this thought, what would I say to them or what would I tell them? If a loved one was having this thought, what would I say to them, or what kind of things might I say to challenge their thinking? Or we can ask ourselves, I'm thinking this way right now, but in 10 years' time, will I still see this situation in the same way? Another way we can challenge our thinking is notice if we are carrying out some unhelpful thinking styles. We can ask ourselves, am I jumping to conclusions in this thought? Am I forgetting to consider that there might be, another way of looking at it or other factors involved? Am I catastrophizing in this thought? So I'm immediately jumping to the worst case scenario and believing that that's going to happen. And finally, we can ask ourselves, am I all or nothing thinking, not considering that there may be a grey area and things aren't always just black or white? So next time you notice a negative thought, have a go at using some of these questions to see if you can create a more balanced, rational way of thinking and see, does that make you feel any different? Thank you.